With the title of parent also comes the role of teacher. We're not expected to know it all, but we are expected to prepare our kids for real life, right? In doing this, my next guest suggests using our own struggles, our own failures as teaching points for our children, all in an effort to make them more successful. Dr. Tom Golightly from Brigham Young University is joining me. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
And of course, you're pulling from all hypothetical examples, you yourself having never made a mistake, right? In your parenting years. Why is this so important? I think it puts parents in a really vulnerable, maybe even uncomfortable position to open up and let down the mantle and say to your kids, I'm not perfect. Why is this so valuable?
Well, it's really scary to own mistakes in general, and with the people that you love the most, that's even scarier at times. And so we fear maybe even losing respect, some credibility as a parent, and we also worry that we're going to somehow give them ideas. But what's interesting is our kids, one, recognize our own humanity maybe even more than we do, and also they're bright and they're creative, and they figured out a million different ways to make mistakes that we never could have.
So I think you just hit one big nail on the head. That's so true. That's so true. But by saying, gosh, I screwed up by making this choice in high school, you're not giving your high schooler permission then to also make that choice. Their wheels don't spin in that way.
They don't. And typically, if they're asking you that question, you know, how did you make mistakes? What mistakes did you make? They're really just wanting to connect with you. They're really wanting you to trust you more. And as your children kind of go into late adolescence and early adulthood, it puts you more in that consultant role to be vulnerable and for them to trust you, and gives you a lot of power to build that connection.
So trust is a big one, and you just touched on another big buzzword as well, connection. You say the research points to a more desirable relationship, a better dynamic if you're willing as a parent to open up and share.
Yes, as long as we're willing to have that conversation and we don't push it away too quickly or we don't cut it off, we are going to build that connection, and our kids really, really do want that. But they also want to know that you made mistakes, that you're not this finished product, that you're not the perfect person that maybe you want to portray all the time. And my daughter was recently in a production of Mary Poppins Jr.
Oh, my favorite.
And George Banks, you know, gives the perfect English home.
Right.
And Michael Banks, you know, asked the question, Daddy, were you ever a little boy? And we don't really want to create that space, you know, the disconnect from that perfectionism. It allows you to really bond with your child, to give some mistakes that you made.
So bond, improve our dynamics, strengthen the connection. There's also this word that we're hearing a lot about lately, thanks in part to researcher Brene Brown, but the word is shame. Does this take the shame out of the relationship in a way when we're willing to open up and be vulnerable?
Yes, when we are able to show our imperfections and we connect over imperfections, whether that's a parent-child relationship, a dating relationship, any relationship, as we share our vulnerabilities, our bond is connected. And what helps is to reduce that perfectionism. It reduces that shame, and as we connect, we're more likely to give that space of self-acceptance to ourselves, and to show our children that it's okay to accept their mistakes as they go along making them.
You've got a list of do's and don'ts for parents out there listening. Let's start with some do's.
Well, the first one is be genuine. If you can, don't embellish the story. Don't save them from the difficult parts of the story, and that's really, really important to be able to do that. The other one is not coming to my brain right now.
How about communication lines open? Yes. Let me help you there.
There we go. So we're not always ready to have that conversation. You know, we don't know when it's going to come, when that question's going to be posed to us.
So be prepared.
Be prepared and be ready.
It's the worst, isn't it, when it's just coming like a ball out of left field?
And you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
And so have some stories ready.
Don't make it about you, and don't avoid the subject. When you say don't make it about me, the story is mine. So give us the difference there.
So making it about you is you're telling the story to make yourself feel better. If you're sharing the story to improve yourself or for you to learn, that moves the situation around a little bit. Your kid's going to be able to know that. They're going to know, like, whoa, I'm helping mom or dad here.
I'm their therapist at this point.
And really you're trying to share more about them. The other one is don't avoid it. If you avoid it, you're communicating two things. One, we don't talk about this, and two, maybe you shouldn't be struggling, and you really want to avoid heaping that shame passively on people. So it can be a bit of a danger if you try to avoid that conversation.
I love this conversation because it applies to a myriad of parenting conversations that will pop up. So thank you so much for the help.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.